Hello everyone, this is Red with RedDragonLeo.com, and today is Monday, November 29th. We're looking at the SPY chart here from Cobra's blog, and you'll notice that on the SPY chart we did close positive, and we closed negative on the SPX, so they don't follow each other exactly. Obviously, as you can see, as one closed positive and one closed negative. But for the most part, they do. But basically, I knew that the 60-minute was overbought and headed in the negative territory. I did not know whether or not that they would try to gap it up and try to squeeze out some bears that went short, or just go straight down. And they decided to go ahead and take it straight down. And so let's move over here to the daily here on this chart. As you can see here, we did close a negative here, and this little gray line right here is the 10-day moving average on the SPX. And for here, we did go down and bang and pierce that 50-day moving average at 1177.31. We pierced it intraday, and then on the gap down, and then we actually chopped around pretty much all day and then rose back up into the close. Going over to the 60-minute here, as I had told in the other video in the weekend update, I had said that we were pointing down and we should go down on Monday, and we did. And when we finally bottomed, we started to recycle back up, and looks like now we're headed up for tomorrow. I do expect tomorrow to go up in the morning. Whether it continues all day or not, I don't know. It could go up and put in a small histogram tower and roll over into the close and produce a negative day on Tuesday. I don't know yet. It's going to be hard to say on that, because we just don't know how far these moving averages are going to go up. There's still a lot of pressure to the downside right now. So I don't think that it's ready to go up here to that like 7.5 or 5.0 area like it did back over here. I don't think it's ready to do that, because I don't think that the daily charts and weekly charts are supporting to move up there just yet. So, it could just go up here just a few bars, maybe just the first bar, maybe 2 or 3 bars. I don't know, and then roll over and produce a negative close for Tuesday. If it's just the opposite of what we had today. Basically today we went down first, recycled back up. And the charts actually did work quite well for this today. On the longer time period right here, as you can see, this is the 65, 90, and 12 on the MACDs, as opposed to these shorter time frames here. This one here is eventually here going to roll up and go back up and give us our Santa Claus rally, but right now it's not. Right now it's still pointing down, still below the zero, and still got a ways to go. How far it goes down, I don't know. Looking at the 30-minute chart, as you can see, basically yesterday we were here. We were already down here, and we could have either rolled back up or continued down, and they gapped it down, and we went straight down. And then when we finally got oversold at about midday, they started, actually it was a little later than that. It was getting closer to, I guess, about, before it really started to run up, I think it was probably closer to 2 o'clock or something like that. But it finally just started to run up again. It's amazing. This is a bear flag, and this is a bear flag, and this was a bear flag. They're worthless, pretty much, with this manipulation in the market. We're still in light volume, even though we had, probably the majority of the volume came in during the first 30 minutes right there in this selling. That's it. The rest of the day kind of lightened up. So these bear flags are not working like they should, but the charts still are. So you basically, when it got oversold and started rolling up here on the 30, at the same time, the 60 was starting to curl up, and as you can see, it got into the last part of the day. That's the first candle of the day. Then second, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 candle of the day. That's the 6th hour of the day, so it's about what, about 2 o'clock or later, something like that. And so here on a 30-minute chart or 15-minute chart, basically we were headed up, and that's what kind of gave me the idea that there was a possibility that they might try to gap it up. There's just no way of telling. When you're down here and you're kind of midway right here between the upper resistance line and the lower support line, it could have went either way. They could have ran it up here to take out some of them shorts, and which would have been a great shorting opportunity. But instead, the larger charts, the 30 and the 60-minute, were just too powerful at this point with the downward pressure, and so it just went down first. And you almost have put in certainly a double bottom, almost a triple bottom. That's pretty daggone close to a triple bottom. I mean, it's 3 points away or something. So it makes you wonder, is this it? Are we going to go ahead and rally from here on up to the rest of the year and have a sound rally? That's a good question. I don't think we are, simply because I've yet to see a move down like this that only did it in one wave, that basically went down one wave and then chopped sideways for the second wave, up, down, and did not have a third wave down. Pretty much every time this goes in at least a 3-wave move, sometimes a 5-wave move. So it's either an A, a B, a C, or a 1, a 2, a 3, a 4, a 5. So that's what makes me suspect that we're still going to have another move down. You look over here at the past, same thing. You had a move down over several days. You bottomed, you went back up, and you had a third wave down. Okay, that's an ABC. You even had it right here in this. You had a 1 wave down, and then a chop sideways for 1-2 days, which made your B wave. This was a real weak one, but it still was a B wave. So basically it ended right there, then rallied up to as high as there over the 2-day period for your B wave, and then finally took its third C wave down in this wave right here. The same thing actually over here as well. You can see they had one large wave down here. You could call that a B wave back up if you want to, and then you could call the C wave the completion right down to this low right here. So, that whole big move right there could be a 1, 2, 3 or an A, B, C, whatever. It's a 3-wave move before it completed. And at that point, it proceeded to move higher. And it did that in a series of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 waves to move higher. And then an A, B, C down again. So, but I guess you could call the whole thing from here to here is like a big A, and then a B, and then a C. Now granted, this wave here, this whole pattern here was a lot more bearish than what we're seeing right now in the charts, but there's still a lot of similarities in them. We have the gray 10-day moving average crossing over the blue. As you can see, the blue 20-day moving average. You look back and you see that same pattern right here. It crossed over right here. And what did you see? You see the first wave down, the A wave, then the B back up to kind of back test in that area, then finally a C. You had the same pattern up here as well. You seen that crossover. You seen the move back up, and it back tested. It actually pierced through the 10-day and actually went up here and hit the 50, and then it rolled back over. And you knew this one was more bearish because the blue line also rolled over the 20-day and crossed over the 50. We've yet to see that here, so we don't know how bearish this move is going to be. Obviously, if we take a leg down and this rolls over and takes a hard leg down too, then it's going to be a pretty deep retracement. But right now, the blue line isn't giving any signal that it's ready to roll over and tank. So it's just going to have to see how deep this move down is. But I definitely see a move down coming, I just can't see this not completing yet. I think at least we should at least hit 1150, if not hit 1130 and bounce off of this 200-day green moving average, the 200-day moving average. It just makes sense. We are still heading down here. We're not showing any signs of pointing back up. We're still negative on the histogram towers. We're below zero on it. It's not showing signs of curling back up. Pattern-wise, again, for tomorrow, I think this possibility, we certainly looked like we're going to go up in the morning, but whether or not it stays up all day, I think Cobra posted on his chart, because the VIX and the market actually closed negative together, that there was a 60-90% chance of a green day. So, you can take that into consideration. So it's possibly a slight, move up. I definitely think that we should move up and maybe retest this. Maybe retest this 1200. I don't know if we're going to go that high. If you look at the 60 again and draw you a line here, it should be, any move up should be halted right there. There'll be a trend line right here that's sloping down, which might put it at about 1196, maybe, just roughly guessing. You can see it right here. So you've got this blue line falling. That's, I don't know how, let's see, that's just 1 point, 2 points. Okay, so you got the blue line as resistance, you got the red line as resistance, and then you also have the B triple top. I don't think it's ready to break out just yet. It's just not ready. I think it needs another leg down. Same thing here on the 30. It doesn't, how high is it going to go before it rolls over? As you can see, it is moving up, but I think it's going to roll over once the 60 gets overbought. That's what I think is going to happen. You can see here on the full stochastics, it'll go up here and it'll hang out while it waits on the 60, because this is a 30. So it should hang out. So you look at the 60 here. The 60 is going to be your key. When this thing rolls up here and finally starts to look like it's going to roll over and die, then it'll probably be midpoint of the day, or maybe very early in the day. And maybe it just, chops around, and maybe it still ends up positive for the day. But at some point, I think this thing is going to roll over and give us a down move either late Tuesday or Wednesday, Thursday. Things have been opposite of what you have been expecting. We had been expecting many times down on Thursdays and up on Mondays, down on Thursdays. And we got that just the opposite today. We had a down move on Mondays. And we've seen a lot of down Tuesdays. Well, tomorrow could be an up Tuesday and maybe close slightly flat or, slightly down. Maybe it just doesn't have enough time to roll over. Maybe the whole day it takes it to get to 60 overbought. And it maybe, just hangs on there. It doesn't roll over. But be wary of that, because if it rolls over and goes sideways all day and doesn't have enough selling pressure to look like it wants to roll down, that's putting in a bull flag. And you know how crooked the gangsters are here. They'll make the bull flag work, but they won't let the bear flag work. They'll cheat. So if it does that and trades sideways all day, be wary of that. But, we just have to see what the charts are. Obviously, if the 60's rolling up there and rolling back down, it gets into this kind of area. At the same time, the 30-minute is doing the same thing, headed down, and the 15's all headed down. If they're all heading down, then the bull flag doesn't have much chance on a Wednesday. I would hope not. But do keep in mind, those POMO days, they're still out there. They're not having the same effect that they used to have. They're just mainly stabilizing the market. They're just kind of preventing a big sell-off. They're not really rallying it too high. But Thursday and Wednesday, they've got the most amount of money, like 13 billion each day. Today had like, 2 billion or something like that. So they got like 13 billion and 13 billion the next day or something like that. Let's see here if I have that POMO. Okay, here it is. If you can see this right here. Thursday, let's see, where is it at? The first is 15 and 15 billion each. So keep that in mind, folks, that we could have that. But so tomorrow I'm looking for flat to slightly up, at least in the middle of the day, and then roll over into the close is the best speculation I got. Good luck, everyone.